משוך עבדך אל רצונך. Page 128, or if you want to go crazy, 636, way at the end of the book. ידיד נפש, אב הרחמן, משוך עבדך אל רצונך. ירוץ, ירוץ עבדך כמו עין, ישתחווה אל מול הדרך, ירא לו ידידותך, מנופת צור בכל טעם. יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, yada la la la, yada la 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 la, yada la 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 la, yada la la la, yada la yada la la la, yada la 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 la, yada la 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 la, yada la 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 la, yada la la la, yada la 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 la, yada la 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 la, yada la 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 la, yada la 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 la, yada la. Turning back to 142, if you were at the end of your siddur, we'll continue welcoming in the Sabbath angels. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bochem, Bochem Leshalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni, Baruchuni. Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitkhem, Tzeitkhem Leshalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. I was thinking about when we sang the ending part to Yedid Nefesh, the Yalai Lai 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 Nigun, and that Cantor Cohen led. Yes, it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Just yesterday. We were at the Louis Breyer, and Cantor Cohen was previewing some of the Yiddish music that she was teaching in her course that started last night. And she played this really great tune called Koyach, and it ended with that nigun. And I hadn't realized that it went together. I always associated it with Kabalat Shabbat and Friday night. But there's something about a nigun, just these melodies that can transport us somewhere else without any words, just by lifting our spirits and helping us enter into a different kind of space. And so that's really what Shabbat's all about, that we can be here together to just enter into the beauty and the sacredness of this day. And we're very excited this Shabbat that one of the young members of our congregation, Joel Tepper, is celebrating being called to Torah as bar mitzvah this Shabbat and will be helping us to lead our service this evening as well. And in honor of his bar mitzvah, we want to invite Joel's parents, Emily and Corey, to lead us in the reading before the lighting of the Shabbat candles. If you'd like to follow along, you can do so on page 120 something.
121.
121, yes. But Emily and Corey, you can come up here, and the words are here on the bima.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you. So, on Tuesday, we had a very full week here at Temple Sholom. On Tuesday, we had a visiting guest scholar who is also one of my teachers and mentors, Rabbi Larry Hoffman, who's devoted his life to the study of liturgy, prayer. And he spoke with our Shalom Shishim group about lots of things, the history of prayer, but he talked about how can we prepare ourselves to go into a prayer service and have a meaningful experience. He said, even if you don't pray all the time, or even if you don't believe in God, you can still get something out of a service. The key, he says, is to do what you do when you go to see a show or if you watch a movie and something unreal happens, like there's a ghost talking or an animal doing something it wouldn't, I don't know. Whatever it is, you suspend your disbelief. So even if you're looking at the prayers and you're going, oh, like God's not literally going to come out and answer these prayers or do exactly what it says literally, if you suspend your disbelief just for this short time that we're here together and go into the service experience with an open mind, an open heart, perhaps, just maybe, you might find a line of prayer that resonates with you, or have a moment of self-reflection, or a moment of beauty or connection to the people around you. You never know what might happen. And I thought it was so interesting that a man who's dedicated his entire life and study to prayer said, it's okay if you don't believe 100% of what you read. You don't have to be the most devoted believer to pray and to get something out of this ancient tradition that we have. And that's okay. So as we begin Kabalat Shabbat, I encourage you to be curious. Open yourself up to try something new, perhaps, and allow yourself to see where the night takes you. We'll start with Lechuna Ranina, page 130.
Lechuna Ranina, Ladonai. Sorisheno קדמה פניו בתודה בזמירות נהריע לו יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי לי יאללה יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי לי יאללה יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי לי יאללה יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי 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 יאללה לי לי יאללה לי לי
Page 131. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. שירו לאדוני. Here we go. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shir Ladonai, last time. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai shir chadash. Turn to the bottom of page 132 in the last paragraph. We have the words Or Zarua, light is sown for the righteous. Or Zarua la tzadik, u yishrei lev simcha. Or Zarua la tzadik, u yishrei lev simcha. Try that part with me from Or Zarua. Or Zarua la tzadik, u yishrei lev, u yishrei lev simcha. Or Zarua la tzadik, u yishrei lev simcha. Simchu tzadikim, simchu tzadikim b'Adonai, ve'odu lezecher kodsho. Simchu tzadikim b'Adonai, ve'odu lezecher kodsho. From the top, Or Zarua. Or Zarua la tzadik, u yishrei lev simcha. Or Zarua la tzadik, u yishrei lev, u yishrei lev, yishrei lev simcha. Turn to the top of 134 for Zamru Ladonai. Zamru Ladonai bechino, bechino vekozimra. Zamru Ladonai from the top.
Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor vekol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor vekol zimra.
Page 138.
כל אחד דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. כל אחד דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. כל אחד דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. כל אחד דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Verse 2.
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. כל אחד דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. כל אחד דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Verse 3.
מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה. רב לך שבט במקבחה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. כל אחד דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. כל אחד דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Verse 5.
התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. כל אחד דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. כל אחד דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
We'll rise and face the door to greet the Sabbath bride.
בואי ושלום, את הרד מעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
Facing front.
כל אחד דודי
invite you to remain standing, and I want to invite Kelly Reynolds to come join Cantor Cohen and I on the bima. We want to give Kelly a blessing. Kelly immersed in the mikveh this week and is officially part of the Jewish people. We're so thrilled to have her. Many of you who are Shabbat Friday night regulars know Kelly. She's been here for a few years now, but it's exciting to make it official, and so we want to give you a blessing tonight. So Kelly, as you stand here before all of these Sifrei Torah, these Torah scrolls, they hold, stand a little closer to them, they won't bite. They hold the wisdom of our tradition. Every generation of the Jewish people has carried these scrolls and studied the words and taught them and gained insight and knowledge and wonder and awe. And I know that you have done that through your studies, and that you will continue, as it is a lifelong pursuit of being a Jew in the world, is to constantly turn it over and study and learn and bring it out to others, that they might gain from your wisdom and knowledge as well. So we're so thrilled to welcome you, and we want to give you this blessing.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
Keni ratzon, may God bless you and keep you.
Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
Keni ratzon, may God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yis Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom.
Keni ratzon, may God always be with you, Kelly, and grant you that most precious of gifts, the gift of shalom, of wholeness and peace. And we say together, Amen, Amen, and Mazel Tov. I'll ask you to remain standing still as we turn now to page 263 for Chatzi Kaddish. And as we want to do, we invite our Bar Mitzvah Joel to come join us to lead this next part of our service.
יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה, ואל מה נברא חירותי והמליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי המעיין. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילם עם כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. Continue on page 265, Ma'ariv Aravim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher barod ma'ariv aravim pechochma poter she'ariv uvit vunai meshenei itim umachlif et hazmanim umasader et hakochavim b'mishmem leotem berakir kirtsono boreo yom v'layla goleo or mibnei choshe v'hoshe mibnei or Umavir yom umevin laila, umavdil ben yom umevin laila, Adonai tevavot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamidim lo aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Amen.
Avat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha chavta.
Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. El ken Adonai Eloheinu, b'shofbeinu u'kumenu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, לעולם, לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובכם נגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך
אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Israel.
Amen.
Shema
Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, ושיתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך, ושופך וקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 270, we'll join with Cantor Cohen singing Mi Chamocha.
מי כמוך אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה עליינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלום לך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלום לך. אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני, הבורא סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים.
I was thinking as lit the Shabbat candles at home this evening about in the midst of a hard Jewish week, whether it's on campus or in The Hague or in anywhere and in between, that there's something I feel so anchored to in tradition, that that we have our practices, all of our rituals, and in particular Shabbat, that allows us to just have something to really hold on to feel a sense of breath, of just being able to pause in each week, no matter what's happening in the world around us. So let's try and appreciate what it is to be here in this time, in this sacred time, and in this sacred community as we join together. V'shamru, page 272.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. Yam ba-da-da-da, Shabbat, Shabbat, yam ba-da-da-da, Shabbat, Shabbat, yam ba-da-da-da, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ים בלעדיי, שבת, שבת, ים בלעדיי, שבת, שבת, ים בלעדיי, Shabbat, 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 Shalom.
We'll rise together for the Amidah, continuing page 273.
Adonai sfatai tiftach, Adonai sfatai tiftach, ufi agid Tehilatecha, ufi agid Tehilatecha.
Baruch atah Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim ve'Koneh Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ולוחר עולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבולות ומתעוללך, מלך שמית ומחייך ומשמיח ישועה, ונען אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים.
Page 276.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יללוך הסלע, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated.
Yasher koach, Joel. Well done. We'll see you a little bit later in our service, and of course tomorrow, but for now we're going to continue with this next part of our tefillah on page 279.
V'tzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael u'tefilatam ve'ava תקבל ותהי לרצון תמיד עבודת ישראל. ישראל עמך אל קרוב לכל קורב הנה אל עבדיך וחוננו שפוך רוחך עלינו ותחזינה עינינו ושובך לציון ברחמים. ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון.
We turn now to our prayer of Hoda'ah. We give thanks for each of the many blessings that we encounter daily in our lives. We'll join the bottom of that page 284 lines from the bottom, Ba'al Nisecha.
ועל ניסך שבכל יום ערב הבוקר וצהריים מעולם קיווינו לך, מעולם קיווינו לך. הטוב כי לא חלו רחמך והמרחם כי לא תמו חסדיך. מעולם קיווינו לך, מעולם קיווינו לך.
Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace is on 282.
שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
Take a few moments for silent prayer.
Rabbi Brown mentioned, sometimes we have these wordless melodies, nigunim. Last night in our Yiddish class, we talked about why is it that there's so many Yiddish melodies, specifically folk songs, that have these yalalai parts. Where did the words go? Maybe sometimes can't really find the right words, but we can find the right melody. So we'll go back to that melody that we started our service with. That's part of Yadid Nefesh and also part of a folk song in Yiddish called Koyach. It goes like this. Yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai dai, yada dai yada dai dai dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai dai, yada dai dai, yada dai.
Well, if you would turn to page 371. In a moment, we'll join in the middle part of that page in this Misha Berach, this prayer for healing. As we come into our Shabbat services, we bring our prayers for so many people we care about, some we know personally and some just because they're part of this extended community, and we want to be a community of caring. So in particular, this Shabbat, we are thinking of Neil and Jan Schloss, Arthur Gutman, Yossi Shemesh, Rose Muchnick, Roger Seelig, Yosefa Bat-Chava Umordechai, Joel Greenberg, Natalie Schechter, Jerry Schechter, Ephraim Aharon Ben Sholom Esther Gittel, Rosa Tessler-Mabe, Miriam Friedberg, Sonia Ratke, Kevin Pepper, Richard Kozicki, Denise Huguet, Maury Dozer, Sherry Fiedler, Marina, Shannon Wall, Virginia Edwards, Natalie Wormelli, Claire Columbia, Carla Zivit, Janet Geld, and David Shlomo Gorney. If there are other people you want to include as well, I invite you to stand and share those names at this time. Shabbat Shalom again. Mazel tov again to Joel and your family, to Kelly and your family as well. So very nice. I want to share just some announcements of a number of activities, opportunities for learning and gathering in the next few weeks. So a lot of different things happening. First of all, we're putting a call out for anyone who plays an instrument. If you would like to join the Temple Tones, which is our wonderful Temple Sholom band, who play a few times during the year, including at the Hanukkah Shabbat service, which will be on the 27th of December. So if you're interested, talk to Cantor Cohen. She'd be happy to talk to you about that. Tomorrow night is our Sisterhood's annual Fall Fun Fest fundraiser. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be a game of Family Feud. And I know there are some families here who are feuding. Not really, but in the fun way. So it's going to be fun. There's entertainment, food. It'll be delightful. So if you haven't signed up but you'd like to come, you still can online. And we'd love to have you. That's tomorrow night. Our learning, we have so many different learning opportunities throughout this month of Cheshvan. It's supposed to be a very quiet Jewish month, so we've packed it with classes. So on Tuesdays, continuing is Rabbi Lindsay Bat Joseph teaching her class on Jewish matriarchs. She wanted to be clear, every session is independent. So if you can't make all of them, that's okay. Come as you'd like at 7:30 on Tuesday nights, continuing this next week through December 10th. I'll continue my second session on the Israeli poetry that's come out since October 7th. That will be on Wednesday night at 7:30. There's one more session, but you don't have to have come to the first one. And then Cantor Cohen's Yiddish music continues Thursday nights. So lots to do every night of the week. I'll mention as well our Next Generation group, that's for people in their 20s and 30s, is having, this is great, Sababa and Sweat. What does that mean? It's a workout class, but working out to Israeli music. And it sounds really fun. It's at Turf in Kitz. That's on December 5th. Really a wonderful thing to know. I know many of you look to this for getting ready for Hanukkah. Our Temple Shalom School is holding the annual pop-up shop where you can come and get, gelt and candles and wrapping paper and things like that for Hanukkah. It's also a great way to support the Temple Shalom School. That will be on Sundays, December 8th and 15th from 11:15 to 2. You can just pop in anytime. Cantor Cohen has a tea coming up on December 12th, and the men's club is doing poker and pastrami. All fun. Great. Okay. So I don't know if any of you have ever been in Jerusalem in a hotel on a Saturday night. There's something, what happens on a Jerusalem hotel on a Saturday night, Shirley? It's date night. Okay, but it's not just date night, it's shidduch night. Okay, so a shidduch, which is Yiddish for shidduch, is a matchmaking. And what happens is that it's in the hotel lobbies, at the tables in the lobby, that people come together for a date if they've been set up by a shadchan, by a shadchanit, a matchmaker. Because the hotel lobby is considered to be public enough that they can be two single people unaccompanied, but private enough that you can have a conversation. And this is, by the way, if this wasn't clear, this is more in the Orthodox community. This is so, and it's amazing. After just a couple of these hotel lobby dates, maybe 3 or so, often a couple will decide to move forward with an engagement. And I always wonder, how do they know so quickly? Can they trust their parents, the matchmaker? Or is there something that just they realize, they know that there is a match? Now, I know we think of matchmaking as maybe old-fashioned, even if you watch like all the matchmakers on Netflix and things like that. But matchmaking actually can create wonderful matches. It's amazing, actually, as a rabbi, I'm asked all the time to keep my eyes open for people. So if you know anyone, just let me know. That's part of what we do. Actually, Greg, my husband, and I were set up by a mutual friend who thought that we would connect. And earlier this month, we celebrated our 18th anniversary, and we always give Erica credit for putting us together. There's a midrash that teaches that matchmaking is the hardest job in the world. There's actually this dialogue in the midrash. It's a dispute between Rabbi Yossi ben Chalafta and an anonymous Roman woman of rank. She asked Rabbi Yossi, "In how many days did God create the world?" He said, "In 6 days." And she said, "And what has God been doing since then?" So Rabbi Yossi said, "Matching couples for marriage." "That's it?" she said dismissively. "Even I can do that. I have many slaves, both male and female. In no time at all, I can match them all for marriage." To which Rabbi Yossi countered, "That might be easy for you to do, but for God it is as difficult as splitting the sea of reeds." So this Roman woman took her leave, and the next day she lined up 2,000 slaves and paired them off before nightfall. The morning after, her estate resembled a battlefield. One slave had his head bashed in, another lost an eye, while a third hobbled with a broken leg. No one seemed to want their assigned mate. Quickly, she summoned the rabbi and acknowledged, "Your God is unique. Your Torah is true. You spoke wisely." So it's in this week's parasha that we read of the first reported shidduch, the match, in Jewish history. Abraham sends his trusted servant Eliezer to travel back to his birthplace to find a suitable wife for his son Isaac. And it's at the village well, which is usually where the biblical matchmaking takes place, that Eliezer asks God to give him a sign to know if he finds the right person. So he realizes that he wants God to make sure that when all of the eligible women come to the well, that he will ask for water to drink, and the right woman will offer to give his camels water as well, that she shall be the one destined for Isaac. Sure enough, that's exactly what happens. Rebecca shows up and offers not only water to Eliezer, but to his camels as well. And it's in this example that we see the embodiment of what Rebecca becomes known for, which is kindness. She's known for this beautiful act that our tradition calls chesed. Chesed appears in the Torah nearly 200 times, and it's often considered to be Judaism's most comprehensive and fundamental of all of the ethical virtues. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory shared the following story in one of his Divrei Torah. He wrote, in 1966, an 11-year-old boy moved with his parents and family. The boy was black, and the neighborhood they moved to was predominantly white in Washington, D.C. Sitting with his 2 brothers and 2 sisters on the front steps of the house, he waited to see how they would be greeted. They were not. Passers-by turned to look at them, but no one gave them a smile or even a glance of recognition. All the fearful stories he had heard about how whites treated blacks seemed to be coming true. Years later, writing about those first days in their new home, he says, "I knew we were not welcome here. I knew we would not be liked here. I knew we would have no friends. I knew we should not have moved here." As he was thinking those thoughts, a white woman coming home from work passed by on the other side of the road. She turned to the children and with a broad smile said, "Welcome." Disappearing into the house, she emerged minutes later with a tray laden with drinks and cream cheese and jelly sandwiches, which she brought over to the children, making them feel at home.
That moment, the young man later wrote, changed his life. It gave him a sense of belonging where there was none before. Over the years, he learned to admire much about the woman across the street, but it was that first spontaneous act of greeting that became for him a definitive memory. It broke down a wall of separation and turned strangers into friends. The young man was Stephen Carter. Eventually, he became a law professor at Yale and wrote a book just about what he learned on that first day in his new neighborhood. He called the book Civility. The name of the woman, he tells us, was Sarah Kestenbaum. He adds it was no coincidence that she was a religious Jew. In the Jewish tradition, Carter notes, civility such as this is called chesed, that is, the doing of acts of kindness, which is in turn derived from the understanding that human beings are all made in the image of God. Civility, he adds, may itself be seen as a part of chesed. It does indeed require kindness toward our fellow citizens, including the ones who are strangers, and even when it's hard. This week at King David High School here in Vancouver, the students engaged in the past days in what they called RAC Week, which stands for Random Acts of Chesed. Throughout the week, the teens went out into the community to pack meals, plant gardens, visit seniors, clean apartments, and so on. It's a very beautiful, beautiful week, and they do it every year, and it's quite touching. But I actually think that the name of the week, Random Acts of Chesed, which is of course based on random acts of kindness, is a bit of a misnomer, because the acts are not random at all. Identifying these acts as random seems to imply that they come out of nowhere, that they are given freely and for no reason except to be kind. But when we speak about acts of kindness or chesed as random, it suggests that they are not regular or part of an intentional framework. Such random acts are welcome and wonderful, but I want to invite and encourage us to think about chesed, kindness, loving kindness, all of these, as not something random in our lives, but rather as a way of life. Chesed, which we learn so powerfully from Rebecca in our parashah, is a Jewish act that we are called to do as a regular and intentional part of each day. So powerful is Gemilut Chasadim, these acts of chesed, that performing them is the closest that our tradition says we come to a genuine imitation of God in the world. It is our challenge always as individuals and as a community to go deeper into our practice of chesed, to ask ourselves where we can push our boundaries. What are we doing well as a community of chesed, and what are the potentials we are not fulfilling? How can we grow in compassion together? How can chesed be our active daily response to being alive? Olam chesed yibaneh. The world is built from love. The world yibaneh, built, suggests that the world of kindness is not created in a single moment, but rather is built like one builds a house, brick by brick, phone call by phone call, visit by visit, action by action, sandwich by sandwich, person by person, day by day, and smile by smile. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Olam chesed yibaneh,
chesed yibane. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. We will build this world from love. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. And you must build this world from love. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, 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 then God will build this world from love, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Olam chesed yibane, yadadai. Chesed yibane, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai.
We'll turn to page 586 now. I'll invite everyone to please rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס עולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום מחשבותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Page 594, share a reading before the mourner's Kaddish. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. As we turn to page 598, for the mourner's Kaddish, we share the names of those whom we remember as a congregation. I invite you as I share the name of your loved one, if you would rise and stand as you honor their memory. We are in Shloshim for Esther Brower, Gary Dayan, Elaine Friedman, Bolek Furman, David Mandelman, Leonid Matukov, Nini Rostaker-Shipman, and Alexis Schloss. We mark Yahrzeit this week of Donald Atnikov, Charlotte Burks, Joseph Brook, Karen Chapnick, Elka Chernikin, Roberta Chochinov, Sophia Cohen, Sadie Cohen, Hal Dornan, Paul Fader, Harold Fall, Lori Feldman, Lila Helen Flanders, Priscilla Fratkin, Larry Freeman, Mordechai Gertzog, David Gold, Solomon Groisberg, James Allen Hamilton, Honey King, Esfir Korodskaya, Claire Lancaster, Roy Leonard, Chuck Ludwig, Ernie Lutterman, Meyer Marcus, Margaret Mason, Esther Matus, Eric Mayer, Beatrice Michaelberg, Nellie Nash, Pepe Ozier, Eddie Reich, Victor Reznikov, Pauline Rosenfeld, Richard Hyman Ruskin, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, Ida Sala, Maurice Schwartz, Sybil Schwenk, Hi Smiley, Bernard Snyderman, Frida Sobel, Jacob Soloveichik, Frida Struminger, Peter Twan, Bernard Vigod, Ted Wilmot, Henry Wong, Saul Zugman. There are other names you've come to say for Kaddish. If you would rise and share them at this time. We stand together now as one sacred congregation beside those who mourn and invite the mourners and those who choose to join in these words. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlam araba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru, amen. Yehi zichronam livracha. May their memories always be a blessing. Amen. So we want to invite our bar mitzvah Joel and his mom Emily to come lead us in Kaddish and Motzi. And then following our service, we invite everyone to join us in our social hall for an Oneg Shabbat sponsored by Emily and Corey. Thank you very much.
ויהי ויבוקר יום השישי, והלכו השמיים והארץ וכל טבעם, והחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה. וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברר אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בשבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai,
אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו, ושבת חודשו באהבה וברצון המהילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי באנו בחג ata ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshoshecha ve'ahava u'ratzon imachanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Okay, we'll uncover the challah and join together in Motzi. Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Te'avon.
We'll conclude.
Emily and Jill, you can bring that challah at the board to share with your family, and we'll join Cantor Cohen in our closing song.
Conclude with Adon Olam, page 625. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemon Nika, Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Imloch Nora, Adon Olam, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Hove, Ve'hu Yeh V'tifara, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Veit Nasa, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemon Nikra, Adon Olam. Shabbat Shalom. You can have that follow or give it to your family if you want, or we'll just cut it out.
Just pick it up.